Daniel and Lindsay are both diamonds in the UK and founders in the UK, and they're going to be talking to you about something that I'm passionate about, and I'm sure you all are too, and that's building on your beliefs in this business. So please raise your hands together for Daniel and Lindsay.
Guten Morgen, everybody. That's as far as my German goes.
Ich habe Gummistiefel.
Oh. Very impressive.
Ask someone to translate.
So before we get started, I'm sorry, babe, but I'm going to go totally off track. I haven't even started with the first slide yet, but let's just do this. So I'm going to do something that no partner likes to do. No husband in particular, but I'm going to do it with all of you. Lindsay, you were right. I'm only doing this once. doTERRA is not a hobby. These oils are not voodoo oils or placebo oils. They work. Alright, that's really it. Done, and we're never doing that again, and you're all my witness. Alright. Let's get into this. If you look up on the screen now, you'll notice a lot of amazing, inspiring leaders. People that you will have noticed as you walk by and gone, hey, they're here. Or I've seen them on a YouTube video or a podcast, or I've heard of them. And you'll just be thinking, wow, what amazing people they are. But some of you will be thinking, I could never be like them. Sad face. Going through your head now, or even before, you might be having things like, I don't look like a wellness advocate. That's me, by the way. I'm not an influential person. I'm too disorganized. I don't have a powerful personal experience. I can't use social media or Facebook.
So it struck us yesterday, and we were talking about this last night, that every single speaker spoke about belief. Every single one. I thought, oh my gosh, they've covered everything already. But the reason why they all spoke about it is because it has such a huge impact on what we can achieve. So we're going to kind of unpick that today and really dive into it. Maybe they've already covered a really good job of some of it this morning already.
And certainly as you saw and looked on some of those thoughts, those potential negative thoughts, I wonder how those ideas might be affecting you as a person or even your business. Now what would be really amazing is if we could do an experiment on us, on a person, to find out once and for all what those effects would be. Now, I asked about this, whether we could capture some people from here and do an experiment on you. Now, apparently that's not within doTERRA culture or ethos, so we can't be doing that. However, we did find this really interesting video. It's 2 minutes, and it shares with you what some of the effects might be, but not on a person, on something else.
Nobody likes you. No one notices when you're in there. You're a mistake. You're useless. You're not even real. You look rotten. Are you really even alive? I like you the way you are. Seeing you blossom makes me happy. You're making a difference in the world. You are beautiful.
I brought them here to see the plant. I was like, a plant is so cool. Like, it's not normal. I think it's an excellent project. To have something tangible that I can actually physically be a part of is, I think, going to be very powerful.
As the weeks passed, I started noticing that the one that was being bullied started kind of to droop.
While the plant that was being complimented, it was flourishing and beautiful.
It's raised the profile massively of different forms of bullying and the effects that bullying can have on people.
With the effects of planting can definitely affect other people.
I love that video. How many friends would you keep if you had that kind of chatter with them, or if they said those like unkind things? Do you remember that slide where I could never be like them? All of those things that we tell ourselves. How many friends would we keep if they were saying that to us? Would we ever tell our friends that? So I want you to think about, well, what internal recordings are you playing in your mind? What are your messages that you play over and over again? Are they uplifting? Are they helping you to feel better about yourself? Some of them may be, some of them might not be. But I love this Gandhi quote. So your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. So we trace back, our beliefs are what create our destiny. How incredible is that? So we want our beliefs to be positive, to be powerful, to be uplifting, because that's what will ultimately then have the impact that we want. Now, Henrietta introduced this yesterday. It's called the Success Summit. And I love this, although I'm not sure we got the high definition version. I don't know what Henrietta is, but we need to get her high definition version. So this is the Success Summit that was created by the Goddards, and I absolutely love what it can do. So it can be just a pretty picture that has all the ranks, we've seen them before, or it can be a plan, it can be a self-evaluation tool, it can be something that you can put into action, and that's what I absolutely love. One of my strengths is achiever. Let's do it. Executor. We're halfway through a meeting the other day and we're just talking, brainstorming, and I've got a spreadsheet up and I'm typing up the points. What's it going to be? Anyway, so Rochelle laughed at me. Do you have executor as your strength? And I do. And so this is something that's really, it can be an action document. So let's focus on the beginning. When we get started, we're really looking at what is your belief in the product. What is your belief in the oils? Do you know that they work? If you don't, go and put some oils on. Go and put more oils on until you know that they work. Go and put oils on other people until you can see them working on them as well. Really need to ground in that product. Then you'll be able to have the capacity to get to elite. Then you want to build your belief in the company and in the opportunity. Now they're two separate things. You can believe in the company but think, but MLM is a little bit dodgy. You need to know that this is not a dodgy opportunity. You need to have the belief this is an amazing opportunity. And Daniel's going to go through that a little bit more. And that gives you the capacity to be able to get to Premier. Now you'll notice there's a line in between that says, with integrity, present the message, grow trust to enroll. I think those statements are so powerful. Now the third one, build belief in you, and that enables you to get to silver. So with commitment, model success habits, solidify certainty. How many of you, and this is not a hands up activity, because you don't need to tell everyone, how many of you sometimes struggle to believe in yourselves? How many of you, oh, you're very brave, thank you. How many of you sometimes find that everything else is amazing, but I'm just not quite the person to share that message? And how many of you, those of you who are beyond silver, how many of you found that silver was a bit of a sticking point? Or getting to silver is or was a bit of a sticking point? Or we know that this is somewhere where often people have a little plateau, and we absolutely did. And this was very much related to my self-belief. So I was silver, I'm actually not sure how long I was silver for. I can't remember, it was a long time. Well over a year, and then Daniel joined me in the business, and within a couple of months we got to gold. It was amazing. And of course Daniel said,
It's all me.
And it was massively down to Daniel, but it was massively down to Daniel's belief and his reinforcement of my belief in myself that actually I can do this. And also you'll see that Notice Getting to Gold is about having a belief in your builders, and that's one of the things that is so important, is believing that your builders can do this. And one of the things that Daniel does very well in his strengths is relationship building. And so he was all about nurturing and helping people to grow and helping people to see their potential, making them feel valued. My gosh, that helped them to just lift up and step up to the plate. It's amazing what that capacity can do. So let's unpick a couple of those. So there's two really big ones here, the oils in the company and yourself. And I want to focus on those two particularly today.
Yeah, so the question again to ask yourself is, do you have a real belief in doTERRA's oils and the company itself? I love gifts. You've got to get making gifts. Get WhatsApp, start making your own gifts. We do, it's great fun. And I had to get a bit of friends in there. So, I want to give you, if you're not sure, if you're a bit like Joey, a bit unsure of whether, I'm going to give you a few reasons why you can believe in doTERRA. And the first are the founders, the executives. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. These people are amazing. We're going to have a fantastic opportunity to listen to two in the main part of this week. And it's just going to be amazing to hear from them. If you don't know enough about them, ask someone who's been in the business a bit longer, ask someone who's met them, or watch a video. But these are incredible people. We then have the amazing charitable things that we do with Healing Hands. This is exploding. Again, there's a website where you can find out all the amazing causes. There's just been a magnificent bike ride that's been done. There's the work that's been done all around the world. So this is an incredible thing to show that doTERRA is not just about the oils or the money, it's about actually putting back. Then something that I find so amazing and so important is that doTERRA is not going in and basically taking advantage of people and farmers all over the world. I don't know if you've seen the frankincense video, where there's a great video where they show that they're putting back into communities, they're cutting out that middleman, and they're making sure they can make a real difference. We've got the really exciting thing that's happening initially in America and then spreading, I'm sure, throughout Europe and the rest of the world, where essential oils are becoming a real part of people's personal health and well-being. We then have the science for you science nerds. It's amazing. Lindsay's definitely one of those. So it's absolutely incredible to not only find out that these oils smell nice, but there are scientific reasons why they are so effective. We then have the cologne list, where athletes and high-performance stars are able to use doTERRA products, which do, in some cases, enhance their performance, but in a way that will not cause any issues in that specific field. Then get on YouTube, look at the amazing videos that are shared, not only from doTERRA, but other wellness advocates. They're so inspiring. Facebook groups, get on those Facebook groups, start asking questions. So often, if I want to know an effect of something, I'll put in doTERRA and whatever that ailment will be. I then get public posts from real people who are showing maybe the effect Copaiba has had on their hands, for example, the effect that, or the way that they use them. It's absolutely incredible to use real life examples. We've then got the amazing Empowered Success program that can give you guidance and direction in all that you do. On top of that, you can see there's a lot of reasons here. Then we have the best compensation plan. Just period. It's just the best compensation plan. It helps you at every stage through your doTERRA journey. And then lastly, the products themselves. We've got absolutely incredible products that are being released every year, new and exciting ones. We particularly love the mouthwash at the moment and the kids collection. Our kids just love. Now, I'm going to share something with you. I don't think there's anyone official from corporate here, so I'm not going to get told off. Oh, someone might do. Now, this looks like... What is this I've put up? Well, this is an illustration. So right now, you might be wondering how popular doTERRA is. Well, let me tell you that doTERRA's market penetration rate in Europe is 0.03%. So what does that mean? That means these tiny little people up here, just 3 of them, that illustrates all the people with doTERRA accounts or who know about doTERRA. This is your opportunity.
So now let's delve into yourself. So you know the oils work, you know that the company is fantastic. Let's look at yourself. So what limiting beliefs are holding you back? Now there's a few key questions on the board here. We're not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to give you a bit of homework. I was a teacher, old habits die hard, so I want you to take a photo of these questions and I want you to go and answer them in your own time. And you can't just answer them and then leave them and go, oh yeah, that's why it's not working for me. So what I want you to do is then make a plan. What are you going to do about it? Some people may be used to doing SWOT analysis in other businesses. This is that version of that. And then use your strengths from the Strength Finder. That will be some of the answers to some of the things that you perceive as your weaknesses or the things that you think are limiting you. Use your strengths to be able to make that plan. And then the third thing, so the first thing is you're answering the questions. You're making a plan. The third thing is find an accountability partner who will hold you to it. Okay? And go and tell them about it. You have to tell them about it, otherwise they can't hold you accountable. So that's what you're going to do to be helping with your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are those voices in your heads. If you still believe them, they will continue to come back. So you need to be correcting those limiting beliefs. We need to be correcting those limiting beliefs so that those voices, those recordings that go on, are uplifting and inspiring for us.
Now, some of you might have heard of Tony Robbins, and he's got... There you go. I'm a late believer in this guy, but I watch his shorter videos, I don't do his 5-day events, but he does this thing called the success cycle, and it's got in it 4 key parts. Now, when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, how's this relevant? Well, let me tell you. If you have a little bit of a belief in doTERRA, you think, yeah, it's all right. Then you're going to think, oh, yeah, maybe there's a small amount of potential there. It will only lead to a small amount of action. Now, a small, low amount of action would only give you very limited results. So if you're getting really limited results, you'll be saying, yeah, you're right, it never was going to work. I could never do this. So this goes round and round and round, and you will get lower and lower and lower. Let's look at the flip side. Let's say you really believe that doTERRA is all that it's cracked up to be, that you have a real belief that these oils can change the world one drop at a time, that you believe that the compensation plan can work for you and others. You then see a great potential there, and it's exciting. Well, great potential can drive you to take big action. Now, if you're taking that really big action, what's that going to do? It's going to bring results. So you start getting results, and you're like, yeah, I knew it. I was right. So then you start to believe more. And then you think there's even more potential. And that's why you see successful people quite often getting even more successful, or happier people getting even happier, because it goes round and round. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I would encourage you to find out, to increase that belief and understanding. Then you see the potential, big action, big results, and you can do it. So I'm very much a practical person. I hate it when someone might say to you, oh yeah, you can totally do doTERRA, just get to gold and you'll get loads of money and it's all good. Well, what actual things, when it comes to belief, can you do to kind of improve it or overcome your limiting beliefs? Now the first one that's been mentioned is meditation. Now this is something I was not a believer in until last year at convention. There was a meditation session, and Lindsay turned around expecting me to be laughing away. Instead, I was crying. I was full on bawling in a really nice voice. She was saying, think of someone that is really close to your heart that inspires you. I think, oh my goodness, I can't help this. So yeah, meditation, give it a go. Next, a gratitude diary. I love this idea. It's great to put down on paper some of the things that you are grateful for, because that inspires you and makes you feel just basically how lucky you are for some of the things that you might miss. Podcasts are just amazing that you can listen to. Clifton Strengths that we've touched on. Great books, a vision board, affirmations, and then being with good people like you're doing right now today.
I think that last one, could you go back one please? I think that's, yeah, back one minute.
Oh, sorry.
So on that last one...
You'd never know, we have 3 minutes.
Best 3 minutes ever. Right, so being around good people is a big part of coming to convention, being with people who are going to inspire you and really, really get the most out of convention. Now, we have a massive tool that we haven't mentioned yet, your oils. So use your oils every day. And one of the ones, my absolute favourite oil is Beautiful, and my little girl, who's almost 5, she puts it on her wrist and it just smells beautiful. And I love what it's doing. So it's chemically, Daniel did say I'm a little bit of a geek, I was a math and science teacher. I love the chemistry that's going on in our brains with these oils. So these are a few suggestions of blends, called the I Am Enough blend, so I found this online. But I love that a lot of the oils that are on here come up in the Beautiful blend. So in Beautiful you have bergamot, which is the oil of self-acceptance. That's a good one to know that you're enough. It helps you to recognise your strengths and really ground in them. Frankincense, the oil of truth. Well, it's good to be honest with yourself. We don't want to be having anyone being deluded. And then there's lime, the oil of zest for life. And that's helping you to have that passion to actually go and do the things that you know you're good at. So let's get back to that Success Summit. And we're going to go to the second half. So up on the top half of that Success Summit, you've got your why, you've got your influence, you've got your legacy. Now some of you who were here yesterday know that we don't just start at the beginning, we don't just start, oh, I'll just focus on the products, I don't need to really think about why. We do need to think about why. We need to focus on what that reason is. What are we trying to achieve? What would we like to leave behind everywhere we go? Not leave behind when we leave, but the impact and the trail that we want to leave behind us as we go through our lives. And that's really important. Now lastly, who in here has had a bit of a roller coaster of a journey with doTERRA? Really? No more hands than that? For us, doTERRA, and I've seen this with so many of the other leaders, has been an absolute roller coaster. There's been some massive highs. A lot of those highs have been in relation to trips that we've done, conventions. Morocco was a massive high for us. And you really get that sense that we are doing something amazing and we're achieving it together. And then there's been some real lows. And that was, well, one of the lows was actually when I was silver for a very, very long time. Some of you think silver would be really good. For a really, really long time, it got very frustrating. And it was mainly because of that belief in me. And my health was a big issue with that. And that was a real low point for us. And having that belief, and some of you may already know, but it was 3 years ago at convention that I went to Prague convention in a wheelchair. And so this was something that was a real low. But I knew and I had that belief that this would not be our lives. Thank you. This would not be how it was going to be. And no matter how many consultants I saw, I didn't accept that this was just how it was going to be. And we did find a way. And thanks to the oils, I'm not using that anymore. And I'm wearing heels and it's so exciting. But the last thing I wanted to say about the roller coaster is that when you get on that ride, you have no question about the fact that you will get to the end, that you will get off and that you will reach the end. I want you to ground your belief in what your goal is in doTERRA in that same certainty. You will get there as long as you stay on the ride and keep going. So finally, I love quotes. Daniel's always saying, another quote. I'll cover a whole house of quotes. You have the power within yourself to make anything possible. You must diminish the doubt and ignite the self-belief. I think one of the things that the Strengths has done is it allows you and it helps us to stand up inside, stand powerful and strong in who we are, and really, really have the impact and really, really have the belief that we can have a positive impact around us. So my big question to you is, what will you do with your power? And start thinking about that right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.